Yeah, I kind of like the SEC having divisions though, and they're bringing in Texas.
Right, because it's the only
Oklahoma.
chance that Florida has to make an SEC championship.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I really appreciate like not having to play at Alabama every year.
I don't know what I'm doing. This is not the intro. Wait, I mean, Kerry, you're a Patriots fan. You're kind of like you're kind of not a sadist. You're a masochist. So wow. You could watch the Patriots play football and then punish yourself even more by drinking Heineken.
Yeah, I was just complaining to the play call with my dad. You know, like I don't know what's up with McDaniel, man. Like I don't know if he's getting too cute. I don't know what he's doing, but
he stopped drooling. He needs more nicotine.
Yeah,
he needs something.
Listen, it was a good week for Zach Stradamus.
It was
a good week.
I'm taking the Bucks.
I'm taking the Bucks as well.
If Trevor was actually a Bucks fan, he would say Bucks by 50.
I'm not a fan.
Maybe he is a Bucks fan, and that's why he didn't say that. Because every time he says by 50, any team by 50, they lose. It's practically become my motto this year. I don't believe in love.
I mean, if you're an Eagles fan, you probably should hate yourself because.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Beerly Football Podcast. It's about football, but Beerly. I am your host, Zachary Smith. Join with me as always, my two very good friends, Trevor Scott and Kerry Dempsey. How are we doing tonight, brothers?
Kerry's freshly shaven. You look good, man. You look like a naked baby.
I am a naked baby. Aren't we all naked babies deep down inside us?
Beneath all these clothes, we all are. That's all we all are.
Well, okay.
What a start, man. How are you doing, Zach?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I got to analyze film this afternoon. That was fun. I got a new beer on the podcast tonight. That's cool. Game day glasses are on, and we're ready to get this show on the road. Speaking of what we're drinking tonight, I'm going to go ahead and get it started. I have a... Sorry, I can't read with these glasses. They're dark. What is the name of this brewery?
Rolling Rock.
Oh, it's called Dragon's Milk Brewery, I guess.
Dragon's Milk. I think
Dragon's Milk Brewery, Crimson Keep. It's a bourbon barrel aged red ale.
I feel like you've had that before.
No, I've had the Dragon's Milk stout.
Just not that kind.
I haven't had this one.
That sounds better.
You don't like stouts, so.
I like stouts.
You like stouts in the form of Irish car bombs.
But I like red more. Nothing's better than a good red, man.
So Crimson Keep. I'm excited about this one, man.
What are you having, Kerry?
Do you want me to tell you guys a sad story?
He's got no beer in the fridge.
That's not it. So I opened up my beer tonight.
Okay.
If you see this can, it's a cute-looking can.
That's pretty cute.
It's a Riptide Brewing Company, brewed in Southwest Florida, local beer. It's got this cute little dolphin, all these red colors. I'm thinking, wow, it's going to be a sweet, fruity, nice little beer. I open it up, and I'm like, damn, it's an IPA, because this is awful. It just broke my heart. It is a Porpoise Party IPA.
Kerry's not an IPA.
Does it have like porpoise blood in it or something?
I was not expecting this, and it just turned out to be a Porpoise Party IPA. I'm disappointed in this dolphin.
It's not a party in your mouth?
It's not. This is not. I'm not a huge IPA fan, but I can appreciate some IPAs, but not this one. But it's only like $2 at Trader Joe's, so I'll take it.
This is very strong. It's 11% ABV, and you can taste the bourbon in it.
That's pretty high.
I'm not complaining. This is good.
Mine's a solid 6.5.
Zach's going to be yelling at them quarterbacks later.
Oh, man.
Boy, I'm struggling through this 12-pack that I got myself. There's only, I think, 4 left after this one, but I don't like it. It's that Postcard Pilsner from over here in St. Pete. I think I had it a few weeks ago, but we're struggling our way through it. Should be done soon.
You got to make a trip to Trader Joe's. Come on.
Yeah, I will. I'll have to do that instead.
Question from the audience. Schmitty Golf, why does Zach put so much effort into your podcast? That's because I'm the hardest working man in podcasting. And that's a true fact. Another one from Schmitty Golf. Cool looking cans are always an indicator of an IPA.
Can anyone back that
You
up?
should have known that, Kerry.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I'm gonna say I don't necessarily agree with that. At any basic store, I say yes, but like if you go to local breweries, there's some pretty cool cans on some non-IPAs. So,
Can anyone back it up that you're the hardest working man in podcast?
It's undisputed.
Undisputed.
It's undisputed.
Interesting.
Alrighty, so we got a lot to get through today. Where do we want to start, boys? I know Kerry has some power rankings for us. Trevor, you got some fantasy sleepers. I've been watching the rookie quarterbacks.
If I had to vote, we should all vote at the same time. We should all point.
Okay.
On here.
Wait, who's above you on the left, Trevor?
This is Kerry and this is Zach.
Okay, so it's the same for me. I just wanted to make sure.
All right. You guys ready?
All right, ready?
1, 2, 3.
Oh.
I don't know who's
Kerry pointing at.
Kerry's pointing at nobody.
Yeah.
Kerry's pointing at the mascot in the corner.
Kerry's pointing at the mirror. Yeah, a power ranking is a pretty fun place to start. I imagine you'll probably zoom through at least the latter half, but I'm looking forward to hearing this top 12.
Yeah, let's hear it, big dog.
All right.
How do you want to do this?
I'll just do
3 at a time, and then we can discuss it.
I'll do 4 at a time, so that will even it out.
Okay.
So I'll do 4. I'll give a quick little thoughts and then hear your guys' thoughts.
What does this list mean to you, Kerry?
It took me about 7 minutes to do this, or about 4 hours ago, so it means a lot to me. Deep down in my heart, it matters. You know, I could never change anything on this list ever. Okay.
Wow, this took me like 2 hours of my real life, watching every play and then writing down stuff. Probably even longer because I started at work and then finished. I got home from work, and then since about 6:30 to about 8:50, so that's 2 hours at home and probably 30 minutes at work. So,
that was dedication, Zach.
Yeah, you know, I want to make sure we get the accurate information because there's a lot of stuff being said out there about quarterbacks, especially rookies, and I just want to make sure we're being accurate about it, you know. But let's go ahead and get into this power ranking, Kerry. What do you got?
What do you got for us?
I got everything for you. All right, starting off, number 32, Carolina Panthers. 31, New England Patriots. 30, Washington Commanders. 29, New Orleans Saints. Panthers, they improved a bit in the offseason, but I don't see them taking that big of a step forward. I think it'll be the worst team again. Patriots, they're my boys, but it's going to be a long season. Offensive line has already looked awful, and that was a huge problem last year, and not really improving on. So it's going to be another rough year for this offense. 30, Commanders. You know, I like bringing in Eckler. I think Daniels will be a good quarterback eventually. I don't know if year one he will be, but this is still a young team and not all the whole talent, especially on the defensive end for this team. It's going to be a rough year for Commanders fans. And the New Orleans Saints, maybe this is a little lower than people would have them. This is a very veteran team, but I think it's time to finally blow this team up. The offensive line is a mess. Derek Carr is on his way out. There's a lot of older pieces, and this Saints team is not going to scare anyone this year.
Kerry, how many of those teams you just named, if they had the first overall pick in the draft, should take a starting quarterback?
Next year?
Yeah.
Definitely the Saints. I'd consider it if you're the Panthers and you have number 1 and you love the number 1 pick. But I don't think they will.
But imagine the number 1 pick, there's a really big quarterback. He should go number 1.
I don't think the Patriots or Commanders would. The other two
Yeah,
should.
they'd probably trade back.
Yeah. And Panthers most likely not, but if Bryce Young is just as bad.
Yeah, if he's terrible. I will say I think that's a little low for the Saints, but I'm not going to argue about it or anything. Their offensive line is a absolute train wreck. Watching the because I watched a little bit of the Patriots All 22. Watching them play football is not fun.
It's not. And the fact that they were playing the Panthers.
I was just looking for like something positive to glean onto from their offense, and I was like, oh my god.
Those are like the worst two teams in football.
Yeah.
Panthers and Patriots.
Yeah.
Not be pretty for either of those teams.
Hopefully, it's Gerard Mayo, right? Is the head coach?
Yes.
Hopefully, he gets at least 2 or 3 years because I imagine he'll get at least 2, but he might need 3 to get this team back over 500.
He's very never sexy though. Even when they're winning rings, they're just doing it, you know.
But I'm telling you right now, this team ain't winning any rings.
Mm-hmm. He's 38 years old. I think we'll get the benefit of the doubt at least for the next few years.
Well, I think he should because this roster is just not up to snuff right now. So.
Mm-hmm. And especially with a lot of trade rumors coming out about one of their veteran defensive leaders in Matthew Judon.
Yeah.
So we'll see. All right. 28 through 25. This one, I have this team, I think, higher than a lot of people do. I don't know. For some reason, I think this team's a sleeper, not to be in the playoffs or anything, but I think they'll be better than people think. I have no good reasoning for it, but I have the Denver Broncos at 28. I think they're going to be more competitive than people think, but that doesn't mean good, but I think more competitive. 27, Arizona Cardinals. I think Kyler will be better year. They got Marvin Harrison Jr. The offense should be better, but nothing in this defense really screams out to me. Offensive line is mediocre. Mm-hmm. And again, they'll be better than last year, but still middle-of-the-run team. 26, Tennessee Titans. I really think the offense can be better this year. I think Will Levis is their quarterback of the future. The line should be better, but still might be an issue. And this defense, besides Jeffrey Simmons, is still one of the lower tier in the NFL. So I got him at 26. And 25, I got the, sadly, Justin Herbert-led Chargers. Justin Herbert is the only thing going for this team.
Yeah, I would probably flip a couple of those rounds. I would put the Chargers closer to the bottom of that just because again, like you said, I don't see anything positive going for this team outside of their quarterback.
And Herbert's not even healthy.
And he's not healthy, yeah.
It's just tissue. It'll be all right.
I mean, like, what's going besides Herbert and obviously the 2 good offensive linemen and a couple older veteran pieces on defense, like, there isn't much to this team. Unless Harbaugh comes in and changes everything.
Well, Harbaugh wants to play slow ball, man. Don't mess up. It's the name of the game.
But I'd probably put them close to the bottom. I think the Titans should be a little bit higher. Maybe switch them with the Colts.
Wait, did you say the Colts?
No, switch them with the Chargers. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see much going on with the Chargers this year. I think it's going to be a tough year for San Diego fans, or not San Diego fans. Sorry, LA fans.
They don't have real fans anywhere. Sorry, any Chargers fans.
I actually do know a Chargers fan.
What, that fake planted fan last year?
Huh?
That fake planted fan last year?
No.
All right, Trevor, getting anything on those?
No.
All right. 24 through 21. This is also low for this team. Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know if people love this team. They're always 9-8 every year. I don't love their quarterbacks. I don't love their line. They only have 1 receiver as of now, depending on if Ayuk comes or not. Yes, we know the defense will be good, but I think this is going to be a mediocre team, and bad quarterback play is not going to help them. 23, Chicago Bears, up-and-coming team. I think will be better this year. Great wide receivers, Caleb Williams.
Defense, top 10 defense, and you think they're going to be the 23rd?
I would call them a top 10 defense. They're a
you
good
don't
defense.
think so?
I think they're maybe 15 in that range. They're a good defense. I don't think they're great. Like, who's their best pass rusher, Trevor?
Shit, I don't know.
A top 10 defense, and you can't name their best pass.
They had a great secondary.
What about their front?
Can you name their best pass rusher? I don't know.
I get the Bears.
I'm going to a Bears game this year, though.
Hey, they'll be better, though. 22, I got the New York Giants. I really like their defense, as always. Their line is still a mess. Daniel Jones is still Daniel Jones, but he's a beard now, so maybe they'll turn things around. You know, beards are walking people.
Damn, you put the Bears behind the Giants, dude?
I mean, one spot.
Still.
I'd probably put the Giants a lot lower.
I like their defense.
Zach doesn't even like Caleb.
They have a great defense, and if their offense can just be competent, they could be a competent team.
Okay, so sell me on this idea that right now the Giants are better than the Bears right now. Sell me on this dream you got.
Tell you what, when I was watching the Bears play, I won't get too much into how Caleb did because I got a big thing coming up on that. Yeah, but when I was watching the Bears play, one of the things that I didn't like about their offense, it seemed like their run blocking was not that great. And I think in order for any rookie quarterback to be successful, you need to have a solid, not even a great, but a solid run game. And I don't see them having that this year. Now, granted, I didn't check and see who was in the game at offensive line. It just seemed like they weren't getting a lot of push up front. So take that with a grain of salt.
We saw the Giants be, a playoff team 2 years ago. I don't think if they could be around.
Yeah, dog, but it's 2024, bro.
It's 2024. We haven't seen anything from the Bears ever. Caleb Williams has never played a snap in the NFL. There's no guarantee.
But Daniel Jones has.
Hey, Kerry, no slander on 1985, the last time the Bears were pretty good.
I mean, Trubisky, that one year that without the double doink, they were good.
No,
it was like the funny thing was it's not even the double doink. Is he hit like the crossbar 4 times in 3 kicks and missed all 3 kicks.
I remember watching that in real time.
That was like the Kawhi shot.
That was nuts.
But Bears, they haven't proven me anything yet, Trevor.
No, you're filthy for that, Kerry. I would love to make a bet. If
Let's make a bet. I have a freaking thing going right now.
Like anything, dude. That the Giants will be better than the Bears, and like in what light?
This is heading into the season, Trevor.
Okay, but still,
I have them 22 and 23. That's a
terrible.
1-spot difference.
It's terrible.
I don't want to bet my life on a 1-spot.
Don't bet your life. Just
it took me 7 minutes to make this power rankings at work today.
Okay. Is there any power rankings you respect?
They're power rankings. They change every week. That's the whole point of them.
Man, that's bad business, Kerry. I don't know what you're doing.
That's life. In the words of Trev Scott, that is life.
That's bad business. Putting the Giants over the Bears is bad business, man.
Well,
go ahead. If you don't want to make a bet, go ahead. We're going to talk about something else, or I'm going to get mad.
Wrap up the 4. I got the Raiders at 21. I like this Raider team. They brought in Wilkins. That D-line's going to be good. They got Devontae, some weapons on offense. If they get competent quarterback play, I could see this team being another like the Giants 2 years ago, sneaking the playoffs, maybe it's a wild card. The AFC is very tough, but this is going to be a hard Raiders team to beat, definitely.
I have a question for you guys. Did you guys see any of the preseason game, comparison between Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew?
I heard it was very close.
Yeah. So basically what I came away from it with was Gardner Minshew is a more talented quarterback than Aiden O'Connell. But Aiden O'Connell is a better quarterback in that system.
And I did hear they're going to name the starter this weekend after week 2.
Oh, shit. That's kind of exciting. Is there any Raiders fans?
We got some Raiders fans somewhere.
There's got to be some out there.
But, yeah, so when I was watching the game, I was like, well, Aiden O'Connell clearly knows the system better. And so he's able to execute that offense pretty well. But Gardner Minshew, I think, is a more talented quarterback. He's also just so high and low. Gardner Minshew.
It's true.
He makes some throws that you're like, what is he thinking there? And then others
it's called Minshew Mania, Zach. Minshew Mania.
It's crazy to watch. It's like he goes from like Patrick Mahomes to Nathan Peterman, like play to play.
And Nathan Peterman's now a Raider, so maybe he'll be QB1.
Why? I don't know why.
He knows secrets. Yo. You think there's any young Raiders fans? When I see Raiders,
why do you want to know that?
They're always like older,
Maybe
they seem to be Latinos with like a chain on.
Okay, how many kids live in Las Vegas? How about that?
That's a good point.
Would you want your kid living in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe.
I would not want you living.
I don't want that thing as far away from me as possible, man.
If
Whether
someone
you got to move or I got to move.
If we drop Trevor in Las Vegas I don't think we'd ever hear from him again. He'd just like disappear, lost forever
into the mountains, man.
All right, number 20. I think this team will jump a bit higher, but I have them here, and they're kind of a sleeper team for me. I got the Vikings. They got a lot of weapons. J.J. McCarthy obviously down. I think Sam Darnold will be a good game manager there.
I think
it's going to be a lot better, I think, with Brian Flores and a lot of new acquisitions this offseason.
Sleeper.
I'll get into it a little bit more later on, but I think going with Sam Darnold's a good choice. And if you follow me on Twitter, you probably picked that up too.
Kerry, I gotta say, man.
Sure.
I don't know how you're gonna call somebody a sleeper and then put them at 20 out of 32 teams. That doesn't make any sense to me.
It's heading into the season, bud.
So what does that mean?
I think they'll be a sleeper this year. I just have them 20 right now.
How high?
This is as of right now, heading into the season. A lot of things are going to change. I think this team could not.
Wait. What does your list mean then?
Power rankings, best teams heading into the season.
Like right now, in this moment.
Yeah, heading into week 1.
So the fact that the Vikings, you think they're going to be a sleeper, have nothing to do with this list.
No.
All right.
They'll get better. This is my best teams heading into week 1. Power rankings as of this moment. If I'm ranking 1 through 32 teams. 19. Someone's not going to like this. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Choked all last season.
Jeez, 19, dog.
It's okay.
That's
I don't
bad.
trust this
Listen,
offense.
that's the greatest thing about living in America. You have the absolute right to be completely wrong, but it's okay.
I like this defense, even though they fell apart last season, but I trust nothing about this offense. And maybe they'll prove me wrong. They looked good in the first part of last year. Let's see if they can look like the first part, not the second part. We'll see. All right, 18. I got probably maybe the most boring team in the NFL heading into next season, the Seattle Seahawks. Geno, he's not going to get better. He's not going to get that much worse. They got weapons. They got some good players in defense. They're going to be mediocre at best.
By the way, we got some hate last week for putting Geno not in our top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL, which is crazy.
Yeah, I saw Trevor fighting with some guy about Geno.
Nah, he kind of came back and gave some good stats, but still, the stats that don't support a case for you being in the top 10. It's like he was 6th in like deep ball accuracy.
No, he
because
said
he's top 10 in these certain metrics. That means part of his game, he's a top 10 quarterback. I don't get behind
no.
that. That's too advanced.
He said he was top 10 in the past 2 years of all like touchdowns.
Oh yeah,
it's because of he was so good in 2022, and because there's a lot of injuries, so a lot of quarterbacks missed a lot of time in 2 years.
That's why I like
he could be in top 10.
The stats thing is like a rabbit hole. Like you go from like basic stats and then like one step past that, you're just all the way down the rabbit hole. But Geno, Kerry, you said Geno is a below average quarterback. I think he's at least an average quarterback.
I think he's average to below. I think I had him like 17.
I wouldn't say he's
17,
below
18,
average.
20.
That seems a stretch. You tweeted that. You didn't say that. You just tweeted it today.
I'd say below average for me is under if 16 is middle in the ground quarterback. That's halfway to starting 32. I would say 17 and below is below average.
No, it's not like that though.
That's how I have it. He's an average
like
starting.
Quarterback's like 15.
He's an average below average starting quarterback. I had him at like 19 or 20. That's below average.
That makes sense.
In my opinion. And
His
then
logic makes sense.
20s and below are just bad.
So yeah, cheers.
All right, let's keep it going. 17. Got Trevor's team, the Bucks. I think they kind of peaked last year. I don't think Baker's going to get better. They got good pieces, but I don't think they'll be a great team. So I get a middle of the ground also.
Do you think you must think Baker is going to be worse than because Baker was like okay and they were 6-8 points away from the NFC Championship game. So you must think Baker's going to be bad.
No, I just don't think he's going to be better than that. I think that was his contract year. He's got his money. He finally kind of proved himself.
You think Baker Mayfield is going to chill? I
think we're going to see a Baker Mayfield like Geno year last year.
Baker Mayfield, nah. I just don't think he's going to be the guy like, oh, I got my money now that I can chill. Some people like actually seem like they want to win and they want to like.
I don't think he's that good.
You think he's got that dog, you know?
No, Baker has it. Baker's a dog. Yeah. It don't matter how many bones you throw at the fucking dog. He wants meat. You know? The dog wants meat.
That's a quote. That's an all-timer right there.
Oh,
He wants some
All
meat.
right. 16.
Shout out to Sketch. All right, continue.
They finally got a quarterback. Kirk Cousins, the Atlanta Falcons at 16. Got a good line. Should be a good offense. Defense, a few issues, but should be a competitive team. And I think I had them winning the NFC South. Yeah, they're my highest NFC South ranked team. So I got them at 16. 15. I think I kind of like this team as another. They were kind of a sleeper last year. I think they'll be a sleeper again this year and could do a lot better than people think. I got the Rams. They lost Aaron Donald, but they added some good pieces on their defense in the draft. Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp. This offense can be dangerous if this young defense can take it up.
Cooper Kupp is a big question mark, especially now that like fantasy's coming around.
I don't think it's out of the question we could see the Rams taking the NFC West. A lot of things would have to go right for them. But I don't think it's out of the question. I don't think it's out of the question.
So, like, what if everyone's healthy? Could they still win the West?
I think they could.
It depends on if we get like
the Niners are healthy.
If Brock Purdy a regression season or something like that. If the Rams,
I mean, like if they lose their best receiving weapon.
We'll see.
But they haven't yet. I don't think they're going to lose them. I think it would have happened by now.
True. All right, 14. This team looked great last season until the injuries hit. They got a great top 10 at least, top 5 maybe defense. They got a great O-line when it's healthy. They got a very good tight end.
You know what? Kerry seems like a defensive coach guy.
I might.
Like the guy that would be like, all right, we're going to pound the rock and we're gonna play good defense. That's gonna win championships.
Yep.
He seems like he's from like a 1985 coaching tree.
Notice
like every time he talks about a team, he's like, especially as we get close to the top, he's gonna be like, they got a good defense, as long as they can, as long as this quarterback
run the ball.
Okay.
But if you notice, all my good offenses haven't been said yet.
That's true.
Tisk. And why I'm saying the defense, because these teams don't have an offense. Unfortunately, this team has a quarterback, which isn't good, but if he can be anywhat competent, this team could be better. But I got the Cleveland Browns at 14.
Ooh.
13. I got Trevor.
So that's like the last wild card spot in the AFC, assuming your top 13 is.
I have a lot more AFC than I do NFC. I'd have to do the numbers, but.
So then they're not even a playoff team.
It's close. I don't think they are, though.
That the Browns are not a playoff team?
Nope. The Browns are not making the playoffs.
They don't have Joe Flacco this year.
Close your ears.
I know. All right, 13.
What if Deshaun Watson has been practicing semen retention?
What?
Yeah, how would that change things for you?
I don't even know what that is.
It's exactly what it sounds like.
I don't think anybody knows what that is.
What the hell? Oh my god!
I'm gonna move on to the next
That's a sentence I never thought I'd hear. What if Deshaun Watson is practicing semen retention? It's so crazy.
Yeah. All right. Number 13. This team has great weapons, and the quarterback does great in that system. But unfortunately, once again, they never address their offensive line as they don't every year. And this injury is a bunch of old guys that get hurt every year. Miami Dolphins at 13, sadly.
I'm not even that mad at that. Whatever. Whatever.
13? Competitive. Hey, they're a great September-October team.
Yeah, you're a hater.
All right, 12. This one maybe seem high, but everybody hypes up this guy, even though I don't see it. But because everybody hypes him up and the rest of this team is good, I got the Indianapolis Colts at number 12 for now.
That's so high, dude. That is so high.
I don't know. I'm just feeling them today. I'm like, I kind of like this team. If Anthony Richardson sucks,
the more you look at them, the better they look, to be honest. But
they almost made the playoffs in Minshew last season.
They also just lost Joshua Downs for the season.
For the season?
I believe so.
I don't think Josh Downs is that big of a difference
It's
maker.
okay. They got Adonai Mitchell. No, Josh Downs snapped last year. What do you have? 800 yards.
Yeah, he had a really good year last year.
He's
As
like
a wide
their.
receiver too.
Yeah,
They have Mitchell, they have Pittman, they have Pierce. They have
Mitchell's a
enough wide
bust.
receivers.
Shout out to John Ross 2.0.
Shout out to Adonai Mitchell.
Pittman's
Shout out
good.
to Mo Alley Cox.
Pittman's good.
Yeah.
All right.
Riley Cox
Wait,
is
did
so
Josh
useless.
Downs? Did something really happen to him?
And Anthony Richardson's going to be running the ball a lot.
Oh, it says they dodged a bullet with his injury.
Oh, really?
There you
Well,
go.
was this 6 days ago?
It was in last week.
It was about last week, yeah.
Well, it says they dodged a bullet, so hopefully it's not that bad. Oh, that's when Anthony Richardson was like, he's still here. It's not like he's dead. I don't know if y'all saw that interview or something.
He'll be out for a month, so he'll probably rejoin about week 4.
Oh, that's all right. We could,
Or
yeah, we
week
can.
three.
That's not bad.
No, I'm gonna ride the Colts to pause.
I bet
But
you will.
I like that team.
You're gonna start singing that song? You're gonna sing the Colts song?
Yeah, I might make.
Please
it
do right now.
I can't. I noticed.
This
I can't
is
talk
our
about the Dolphins.
team.
I was surprised you have them this high, Kerry. I was wondering when you were going to
I
say
was shocked. I
Yeah.
knew you hadn't said him yet, and I was like, "Where is
I was
he?"
kind of feeling them.
That's kind of crazy, but that's okay.
All right,
They were
number
good on
11. I think this team's going to take a step back.
What's that pass rusher? Ibokum?
Sure. Number 11. This team's going to take a step back. They had problems with their leadership last year. They fell apart. I think it's going to be the end of this evil coach from hell and a disappointing season with their fried quarterback. Philadelphia Eagles taking a step back this season. I got them 11. Still pretty good. I think they'll be a wild card team, but definitely going to be a disappointing year for the Eagles fans.
Mm.
And
Nah,
number
you're
12,
such a hater. I can't argue with you about certain teams.
because I own you.
Because last week I argued with you about the Dolphins too much. People on Twitter start calling me a Dolphins fan. So if you want to listen to me,
You are a
argue
Dolphins
with Kerry-
fan.
No, I'm not. But
You are?
Trevor's trying to be like, I'm not an Eagles fan. I'm not a Dolphins
You're
fan.
more of a Dolphins and
Trevor
Cowboys fan than you are a Bucks.
Trevor literally wore a Philadelphia Eagles hat and a Philadelphia Eagles shirt when they were playing his hometown team, the
You're
Tampa
not
Bay
even a Bucs
Buccaneers,
fan,
in the
Trevor.
playoffs.
You're a fake Bucks fan.
nah, I'm a Ravens fan. Fuck it.
Exactly. You're not a real fan.
My favorite team is the Ravens, but I like the Bucks too.
Shut up.
I didn't want to say that. Never mind.
He's a fair weather fan. That's what he's saying. He's bandwagon.
No, it's just I like football. I don't like, I like Tampa, but I like Lamar Jackson,
All right. Number 10. I think this team might be a disappointment this year, but they've been, a good team in the past. And they're getting their quarterback back, so I'm going to put him here. I got the Bengals at 10. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, good offense, solid defense. They'll be good, but for some reason I just have a feeling they're going to take a step back this year. I don't know. We'll see. The AFC is so tough this year. Like, there's not going to be a lot of great teams. Number 9, another team. I have no idea who I want to win the NFC East, who's going to win the NFC East, because I think every team is going to take such a step back. I got the Cowboys at 9. They did nothing to get better this season after they fell apart against the Packers. They're not better than they were last year.
Holy shit! You
What?
still haven't said the Packers, bro.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, the team that was in the NFC Championship last year,
That Xavier McKinney signing really wooed you, didn't it? Don't lie.
you're shocked that a team that was in the NFC Championship last year was in the top 10.
I'm not. You better say him soon. I don't want to hear him in your top 5 or anything. I know you got the Texans in the top 5, but you're like, yeah, we'll see.
I don't know. All right, number 8. I got this team here for one reason and one reason alone. Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills. He's all their team is. Lost a lot of veteran talent. They still get a young defense, which I think will be better this season, but this team is all on Josh Allen. You can't. It's a 53-man roster. You can't do it all on your own. Sorry, Josh Allen, but
You have him on what, 8?
I have him in 8th.
Okay.
All right, number 7. Speaking of the
Wait,
Packers,
let me ask you a question real fast.
what?
Whose defense do you like more, the Dolphins or the Bills right now?
Easily Bills.
Really?
Dolphins is just a lot of injured guys, a lot of old guys.
All right, we'll see.
They lost. Would you think Wilkins is their best defensive player?
No.
Who is?
Ramsey.
This is 2024, bud. This is not 2018.
Ramsey. Wilkins had to leave, bro. Wilkins was not getting that
They
money.
lost Wilkins. They
Plus,
lost Van
Jalen
Ginkel.
I think Van Ginkel is arguably a bigger loss than
They just brought in a bunch of old names. Calais Campbell, dude. This isn't 2016.
Calais Campbell needs to retire.
They just got all these old Madden players. Like, they're Madden free
talking
agent.
about him. It's been
Basically,
like 20 years now. Bro thinks he's LeBron.
They got a white corner. Like, this defense isn't good. All right, number 7. The Green Bay Packers.
Who's corner 1. What?
Exactly. You keep interrupting me, so.
What did you say?
I don't know.
7's the Green Bay Packers.
See, Zach listens to me, so he
Dude,
gets
I thought you said the Ravens, and I was about to lose my shit if you had them at number 7.
Yeah, I got the Packers at 7. This is a young team. I think they went farther than their talent was last year, but they're young. I think they'll be better this year, and it's all to Jordan Love. But going to be a good team. Yeah, high hopes for this team this year. Number 6, the Houston Texans. I love my boy C.J. Stroud. They had a lot of change in the defense, brought in guys like Daniil Hunter. Should be a talented team again this year. Good coaching staff, but who knows? Stephon Diggs is a locker room cancer. Maybe he'll ruin
No, he's not, bro.
Yes, he is. He absolutely.
You guys have never been in the locker room.
He was already screaming at Stroud in that game.
Huh?
Yeah.
He was already
crying.
He wasn't. He was just talking. Quarterbacks and receivers talk.
Shut up.
Shit.
He's like, I know we have 8 talented receivers on this team, but why aren't I getting the ball every play?
It's the preseason. Come on, guys.
He's talking strategy.
Exactly. All right, let's hear the top 5.
And the only strategy Stephon Diggs cares about is, can I get every target this game?
I'm actually about to tweet something about that right now, actually.
All right, number 5. This team has been promised to be good for a while now. I think this is finally the year the New York Jets are a competent football team. It's all up to Aaron Rodgers. The rest of this team is there. The defense is elite. He's got the weapons. The offensive line was completely revamped this offseason. This should be a good team. But it's also –
did you say, the Lions?
Yeah, I'm not – this man can never pay attention to me.
Sorry, I'm tweeting.
I'll just talk to Zach, the only one that listens here. Zach, did you have anything to say? Because you actually listen.
You had the Lions at, what, 5?
I had the Ravens at 4. No, the Jets at 5.
The Jets, that's way too high for the Jets. I like their defense. I don't trust this offense further than I can throw them, and they got some big guys on that offensive line. So I probably can't throw them very far. That's pretty high. So you have them winning the AFC East.
I do, but not by much. I have them at 5 and the Bills at 8.
I just don't see them winning the division.
We'll see.
I can't see them winning the division.
This is a talented roster on paper, but again, this is on paper. We have to actually see this team this year.
Yeah.
That's why we play the games.
Yep.
Number 4, I got the Baltimore Ravens, Trevor's fanboy team. The offensive line scares me. They lost, I think,
Why?
Because they lost 3 starters.
Yeah.
They've been replaced.
By backups.
Yeah.
Hell no. Hold on.
Yeah.
We talked about this when we did the AFC North, Trevor.
Yeah, we literally talked about it earlier this year. They're like, well, they draft pretty well, and their system seems to work well with plugging in new guys, but it's impossible to know how they're going to do until we see them in game.
Y'all know how big Daniel Falele is?
We talked about this with Kevin Ostreicher for like 10 minutes.
Y'all know how big Daniel Falele is?
Yeah, he's like 6'7",
6'8",
like
400.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
And he's playing guard. Bro, are you kidding me?
So you're
Well,
saying
at 400 pounds, he probably needs to play guard. I don't know if he's quick enough to play tackle.
Bro. Pat McCarry is good. Solid. Dog.
no, he isn't.
Trevor's never heard any of these.
I know.
No, I have, because I play with the Ravens on Madden.
My goodness. All right.
Okay,
Let's
tell me something bad about their defense. What, they lost Patrick Queen? You want to talk about a fucking diva? I'll give you something right
Trevor,
there.
I have them as the 4th best team in the NFL.
Okay, so Niners.
That's one of their biggest issues. They lost their O-line.
Yeah.
They have a very good defense, and Lamar is an incredible quarterback in the regular season. He wins, like 70% of his games he plays?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Forest.
I think the second best team in the AFC. All right, number 3. I got the 49ers.
Wow. 49ers
Dude.
at 3.
Dude.
Okay.
Not that good.
Okay.
This team, like, they keep making – they're acting like they win Super Bowls. And no, you just keep losing them. Like, they don't do much to get the team much better. They're like, no, let's just consistently stay the same team so we can lose the Super Bowl every year.
Yeah.
I don't think Brock Purdy's going to get much better than what we've seen. Brandon Ayuk might be out. McCaffrey, he's a running back. Who knows how many good years he has left. Trent Williams is older. And this line isn't as good as people think it is.
Yeah. I mean, they have Trent Williams, but he's really the only star of that O-line.
And he's like 35?
Yeah, he's probably 2 or 3 years from retirement.
He's 36 years old.
So maybe even closer than 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Probably 2 years max left.
We know this team is going to be good, but I could see them taking a step back. And number 2.
Wait.
What?
You could see the Niners taking a step back, and the Ravens brought in Derrick Henry. Okay.
And lost 60% of their O-line. And Derrick Henry is also
okay,
old.
60%.
Derrick Henry.
And they're ready. They have back.
Derrick Henry is also old and a running back.
What did he just have? 1,600?
No, he didn't. Derrick Henry had 1,100 with the lowest yards per carry he's had since 2017.
The year before that, what do you have?
1,500.
1,500? 13
You know how long?
You
Do you know how long?
You really think he can't do that ball? Okay, so
you know how long 2 years ago was in running back time? In running back time. That is like 20 years ago.
Okay, but this brother has been doing it since 2016.
This is running back.
That's an argument
not
against you.
back.
He's
Derrick
got more miles
This
on
is
him,
not a
Trevor.
running back. This
Do you
is
guys
not
remember
any
that
old
old-
running back. This
Do you
is
remember
not
that
any old
old
running back.
Trevor?
This is Derrick Henry.
You remember that old episode?
Trevor's the kind of guy. Trevor is like he collects football cards. He's got a Derrick Henry card. He's really proud of.
Do you remember that old episode?
This is Derrick Henry. He's
With
as
that
good
guy?
today as when he rushed for 2,000 yards.
Do you guys remember that old episode we had with that guy that said Derrick Henry was going to be like the best running back of all time?
The greatest of all time. Yeah, he said it was.
He
If he's
might.
not out now, he will
No,
be
he's
in
not.
5 years.
might.
2 years.
Bro, if the rate, okay, so they're top 4, so they're obviously a contender. Imagine a Derrick Henry Super Bowl MVP, bud.
You think a 30-year-old running back is suddenly just going to get better than he was? Trevor, the running back era is over.
It's not a running back. It's Derrick Henry.
Shut up. Okay.
It's
All
Derrick.
right, let me just finish my list. so you
Former
can
best
go
player
next.
in the world.
What?
2020, he was the best player in the world. Suck it. 2,000 yards, 17 touchdowns, and fuck your Patriots in the playoffs,
In
bud.
2020. Yeah, 2020.
Former
when
best
COVID
player in the
started?
world. This is
We're talking
Derrick
about
Henry,
when
bud.
COVID started.
You guys remember before COVID?
No, I don't.
I
All right,
do. I remember L12.
Number 2. I do too, Zach. This team took a hit, in my opinion, after finding out yesterday Jahmyr Gibbs is out for the season. But I get the Lions at 2. I love this team. Great O-line. Great weapons. Jared Goff is great in that system. And this D-line, the defense, they added a lot in that secondary. I think a middle-of-the-road defense will be a bit better next season. And I think they're going to be a team to beat in the NFC.
I agree with that.
The Lions. The team.
What? You are just full of shit tonight, aren't you?
Oh,
Me?
shots fired.
No,
Oh,
it's the Lions,
jeez.
bro.
Oh,
All right.
man.
Number 1, I have to do it. They won the Super Bowl. Kansas City Chiefs. You know, Patrick Mahomes does what he does. Andy Reid is there. That terrorist of a tight end is.
Would you take the Kansas City Chiefs versus the field? So the rest of the teams in the NFL, do you think the Kansas City Chiefs win a Super Bowl this year?
I don't think they do.
I don't think they do either.
Yeah.
The repeat is crazy.
I don't think there's a 3.
This is
I don't think so.
Baltimore.
This is the NFL. You know.
Yeah.
I think they just kind of got lucky last year that no other teams were that dominant. So they beat their way through a pretty easy AFC field.
Out of playoff teams last year, who would y'all want to win the Super Bowl? Like, just like.
I want to see Josh win the Super Bowl, but it ain't happening this year.
Josh Allen.
Y'all are gonna say the Bills, bro.
I would love to see a Lions Super Bowl too.
Lions as well, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right, that's my power ranking.
Kerry, you want to read off your top 12 real fast? I just want to hear it one more time.
All right, my top 12 power rankings: 12, the Indianapolis Colts; 11, the Philadelphia Eagles; 10.
No, go the other way.
All right. 1, the Chiefs; 2, the Lions; 3, the 49ers; 4, the Ravens; 5, the Jets; 6, the Texans; 7, the Packers; 8, the Bills; 9, the Cowboys; 10, the Bengals; 11, the Eagles; and 12, the Colts.
All righty. So that's Kerry's power rankings going into the year. I thought it was okay. I have some gripes with some of it, but I thought most of it was okay, I guess.
You never could agree on everything.
Yeah, you know.
And it's the power rankings.
I don't get something, dude.
You don't get a lot of things, Trevor.
Like
a lot of things.
Alrighty. So I'm going to go ahead and go next. We got rookie quarterback watch. There's only one quarterback I'm not going to cover today. That's Drake May, because we only got to see him for 3 plays.
Basically. I'm wearing this shirt for Zappy, but enough. Why did we play Zappy for 2 quarters? Let Drake May get snaps. I don't know what.
Yeah, he needs to get snaps. He really does. But
they already know he's the man.
We got quarterbacks to talk about, so let's do it. And we're gonna start out with the one that inspired this segment. Today on Twitter, I got called out because I said everyone was coming out with their rookie quarterback performance rankings out of week 1, and everyone was having J.J. McCarthy on top. And I said, that doesn't make any sense to me. He didn't play that good. So we're going to go over J.J. McCarthy first. So I have a couple positives about J.J. McCarthy. I think he's got a good arm. I think he's relatively accurate. And I think when he has time, he can be really, really good. But there are some pretty glaring negatives. Okay. So one of the biggest negatives I saw watching the All-22, watching every snap that J.J. McCarthy took.
Is that his father's in love with his girlfriend?
That is a negative, but that's not what I'm talking about. So one of the biggest flaws I saw was under pressure, both his ability to read the defense and his footwork completely break down. He throws passes off his back foot. He tries to force it to whatever his first read was. All kinds of stuff that you don't want to see. Now, granted, he's a young quarterback. And what I said basically was he needs at least 2 years to develop into the quarterback that they want him to be. Because it takes time to learn how to step in and deliver a ball as a defensive lineman is about to wreck your shit. Excuse my French. But he panicked. He panicked through a couple passes. The interception that he threw was a throw where he had someone in his face. He tried to throw it kind of flat-footed, and it didn't have the velocity to get to the receiver he wanted to get to it in time. Another negative I saw was it doesn't look like I don't know if they don't trust him or if the coach said, okay, we're going to run really basic plays just to kind of get him started. It is a preseason game. But a lot of his good plays were first reads. And what I mean by that is he's not taking time in the pocket to dissect the defense. He is snapping the ball, looking at his first option, and waiting for that guy to get open. If that guy's not open, he'll try and scramble, do something else. But it's very... I don't think I even witnessed it once where he looked at a guy.
I saw it once.
Looked off of it.
I saw it once.
And then threw a pass. There was one time where he looked like he was trying to look off the safety, but he just looked toward the middle of the field and then went right to his first read. It was right as he took the snap, he looked at the middle of the field. There was no receiver there. And then he looked to his first read, which is on the left. I just wasn't that impressed. What other notes do I have? He tends to step out of throws. This has to do with the pressure thing. When there is pressure coming, instead of stepping up and delivering the pass and taking some contact, he'll step out of it, again, causing some velocity loss and some inaccuracy. I also thought he had poor pocket awareness. He wasn't moving up in the pocket. A lot of the time it was right. He moved right a lot, and then he would also backpedal pretty far. So all that being said, I'm not saying JJ McCarthy is a terrible quarterback. I'm saying that he's not ready to be a starter in the NFL, especially if you want him to succeed. Because the worst thing you could do to a young guy like that is put him out on the field. He plays poorly because he's not ready for that stage, and then he loses confidence, and he ends up being a guy that's in the league for 4 years, and then you never see him again.
I mean, he's the youngest, I think, of all the.
Yeah, he is, and that's why it makes sense to give him a couple years to develop.
And that was his whole thing, because about Michigan, he didn't have to do anything. He could just, rely on his run game. Didn't have to make too many crazy passes. He was the least pro-ready of all these quarterbacks. While he might have a lot higher ceiling than the other ones, he's not going to be ready for at least.
I said 2 years. I say 2 years. Give him some time.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I think it's honestly kind of a good thing that he gets give him a red shirt first, kind of like what the Thunder did with Chet. How he missed his first. Yeah, he was hurt, and then he came back. He was ready. He
had a broken foot.
Yeah, because he was a weak little guy who had no weight on him.
Yeah,
best thing for I'd agree with that. Best thing for JJ McCarthy. I wouldn't say 2 years, but I think sit this year.
At least 1 year. He needs time to develop. They need to work on some, like, okay, what to do when pressure comes in your face. You know what I'm saying?
Comes in your face.
Yeah, you heard me right. I didn't stutter.
I think he just needs to get a little bigger. That's it. I think he's like Tua, just an accurate quarterback, not with the humongous arm, but
I mean, the thing I will say about, I think that Tua is a little bit better at. Tua is better at going through his progressions. It's that's one of the reasons why I said that JJ McCarthy. I don't know if they didn't trust him or if they wanted to give him a really simple play call sheet because it's his first NFL game.
Probably that.
As just make simple reads. You have one look, and then if you're off on that look, there's a check down option or whatever. But he wasn't really going through his progression. He wasn't going right side of the field looking. You have 2 routes over here. Left side of the field looking, 2 routes over here. Check down. It was snap the ball, one side of the field, and then if that's not there, he would hold the ball a little too long and end up trying to scramble and throw it away. But
he's also a lot more mobile than Tua is.
Yeah, okay, he's pretty mobile.
He's younger.
He's pretty mobile.
And he's younger.
Tua could never run.
Wait till he gets hit. Just wait till he gets hit, bro.
What?
He'll tear his meniscus, right, Trevor?
Well, yeah. A lot of people stop running when they get hit in the NFL.
So my grade on JJ McCarthy was a C-. He has all the tools that he needs to be successful, but he doesn't necessarily. He's not pro ready yet. And I think that was very clear from watching the tape. Next up, we're going to talk about the Penix man. Michael Penix, positives first. He, like we knew coming out of college, he was going to have a great deep ball. It's still there. He also seems more pro ready in the fact that he's able to go through his progressions, read the defense. He would go left and right a lot when he had time. He is not afraid of contact. I saw him step into a couple throws where he was going to get clobbered, and he delivered the ball, stepping into it and everything, which is something I like to see. And he uses his eyes to luck off defenders, which is also good to see for a young quarterback. The last positive I have is he's got pretty good pocket presence. He seemed to be able to feel where the rushers were coming from. And there's only really 2 negatives that I have for him. I would say he struggles on short to intermediate passing, with a little bit of a high release. It comes out a little too high, which is dangerous, especially if you're going over the middle of the field. You don't want to throw the ball over the middle of the field short and high. That's waiting to be picked off. I think that could be worked on and developed again. I mean, undoubtedly he's going to be behind Cousins this year, so maybe he can learn a little bit from Cousins. And then the last thing on him is I think the only other negative was he had some difficulty in recognizing some defensive looks. And again, I don't know if this is entirely on him, but there were a couple pass protection plays that were just misblocked. And it looked like it was a call at the line and not necessarily the offensive lineman making the mistake. Like a couple free rushers when they rush 4. And it's just like, well, you can't really have free rushers when there's only 4 guys rushing. You just can't allow that. That's just not a recipe for success. And again, I don't know if that's necessarily on him. It could be on the center who is calling the pass protection at the line. But it's just something that I noticed when watching the All-22. And if he goes further into his career, and I hope he does because I'm a big fan of his, if he goes further into his career, he's going to have to learn how to look at a defense, understand the look that the defense is giving him, and adjust the pass protection based off of that.
Fair.
Okay.
Fair.
We only got one drive from Jaden Daniels. I didn't see a whole lot that I disliked. There were a couple instances that I thought, like, that's kind of strange or that's kind of weird that throw came out that way or whatever. But because I only got to see one drive, it was really tough for me to come up with a ton of stuff. I will say he's got great arm strength. His ball placement on deep shots is very, very good.
He has great ball placement on deep shots, Zach.
Yes,
great.
He does. He has a decent ability to go through his progressions. I don't think he's quite as good as Penix, but he's pretty good. And then he is good at running the read option, which I think everyone expected. I think he's really good at making the decision when to keep the ball and when to hand it off. So that's it for Jaden Daniels. I gave both him and Michael Penix a B on their play.
Fair.
I'm going to end it on Caleb Williams, but so now we're going to talk about Bo Nix. So one of the things I kept seeing on Twitter about Bo Nix was how great it is that the Denver Broncos finally have their guy. This is it. This is going to be the guy. It's not going to be like how Drew Lock was. It's not going to be like any of those guys where Bo Nix is going to be their guy. He had a great preseason performance. And, you know, I saw a couple of highlights and I was like, oh, wow, yeah, it looked like he played well. And then I went and watched the tape and I looked at some stuff and there were positives, but there were also a lot of negatives. So positives, I think he's pretty okay. I wouldn't even call it good. I think he's pretty okay at throwing the ball well on the run. And I'll get it more into that in a second when I talk about the negatives. But he's got a decent ability to throw on the run. He's got good mobility, which is good, especially in the Broncos offense where it seemed like he didn't have a ton of time to set and throw. He runs the option well, just like Jaden Daniels. I don't think he's quite as good arm strength as any of the guys I've talked about so far, but it's okay. And his release is pretty quick on short passes. He gets the ball out of there fast. A lot of negatives to go through. He is very slow getting through his progressions. So it looked like, watching the tape, that the Broncos were a little bit more open with Bo Nix and what they were going to let him do. He did make a couple reads and go through his progression. So he went here, looked at the right side, took a look at the left. Problem is it looked like he really wanted to go to his first read on every single pass play. He was a little bit too married to his first read, even when it was completely covered up. So he's a little bit slow going through the progression of the play. His footwork is so bad. And this has to go with what I was talking about, the throwing on the run. And another negative that I said is on quick passes, he doesn't step into his throws. So whenever he's scrambling, typically when you see a quarterback scramble and then throw, typically you'll see them like if you watch Mahomes or you watch those guys that are good at scrambling and then throwing on the run, you see them before they go to throw, they switch their hips so they can get power behind their throw. Bo Nix, I did not see him demonstrate a significant enough ability to do that. He was relying a lot on his upper body to be able to generate the power to throw some scrambled throws into really tight windows. And it almost cost him a couple times. He had a couple balls that probably should have been picked off because they just didn't get there in time. If he would have switched his hips, I believe he had the arm strength to make the throw. But it's just like, if I'm throwing all upper body, it's just not going to get there as fast. What else? Yeah, he's a little bit panicky in the pocket. He didn't quite show his good pocket presence as some of the guys have talked about today. So it's a little bit panicky. He kind of seems to want to throw on the run more than he wants to stay in the pocket. There's a couple times where he scrambled into what could have been a sack and narrowly avoided it, instead of staying in the pocket and delivering a pass. Now, I'm a big fan of staying in the pocket as long as you can to be able to make the throw, but and kind of moving in the pocket as the pocket moves, right? So, like, for instance, there was one play where the left tackle did his job perfectly, sent the defensive end wide. The defensive tackle lined up on the left side of the offense, kind of went around the defensive tackle that was lined up on the right, and the left side was pretty open. So what I would expect a quarterback to do would be to step up into that vacant space. Instead of doing that, he took off into that vacant space and nearly got sacked by the tackle that was lined up originally on the right side of the offensive line because he didn't let the guard get on the tackle and actually block him. He's a little bit too quick to exit the pocket. So it's one of those things that's just like, it's a small thing, but when you're dealing with first string defensive linemen, they're going to be a little bit better at diagnosing what you're trying to do and beating you up for making a mistake like that. He ran the option well. That's pretty much all I got on Bo Nix. I gave him a C just because he just looked a little less polished than some of the other guys. He looked a little bit better than J.J. McCarthy, but he looked a little less polished than Penix and Daniels. Now we come to pick 1-1. Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams. A lot of positives. I only really have one negative, which kind of becomes two. He's got great footwork. I love when he's got time, the way he moves in the pocket. His pocket presence is incredible. He's got a strong arm, good vision. He's got a high level of accuracy, and he's smart in his scrambling, unlike Bo Nix, which I talked about earlier. Bo Nix can be kind of reckless in his scrambling. Caleb Williams is very smart when he scrambles. However, one of the things I didn't like about him in college, and I was hoping I wouldn't see when I was watching this All-22, is he too often looks for the big play. I think, number one, I just want to say this before I make this comparison. I understand that I think he is better than this other player. I think Caleb Williams is better. I think he's more accurate. I think he's got a bigger arm, all that stuff. But the way he holds onto the ball, the way he looks off short, open receivers in favor of throwing the ball 10-plus yards downfield, what that reminds me of is Jameis Winston.
Just compare Caleb Williams to Jameis Winston.
He did.
There were a couple times where he had guys open in the flat at or near the line of scrimmage that would have been a 5, 6, 7-yard gain. And instead of going to those guys, he would try to force the ball into tight windows to guys 10 plus yards down the field.
Does that not sound like Josh Allen to you?
Reminds me of Jameis Winston just because he held on to the ball so long in a lot of those plays where he didn't need to. So my knock right now against Caleb Williams is he holds on to the ball too long and he looks for the big shot too much. There were a couple plays where he just didn't need to do it. And he had good matchups on those short routes too. It was like a running back on a linebacker on a out route. It's a pretty easy win for the offense, and it seemed like he looked in favor more toward trying to work the ball deeper down the field instead of taking those checkdowns when he had them. That being said, being my one knock against him, or two, or however many knocks you want to think of it as, I did give him the highest grade I gave anyone in the preseason game, and that is a B+.
I guess he's not a bust anymore, huh?
Huh?
He's not a bust anymore?
I mean, we'll see. I think that the team he was playing against helped him out a lot. They dropped a pick. I mean, he had forever and a day to throw. It didn't look like the pass rush was doing anything, and their offensive line isn't that good. They just didn't have good pass rushers in the game. So I think against a good pass rush team, he's going to really struggle. But he did play well in his first preseason game.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say pretty much every NFL analyst, expert, whatever, all pretty much praised all these quarterbacks' first performances, with the exception of Drake May. So either Zachary Smith is a genius and will prove them all wrong, or something else. So stay tuned.
I'm probably a genius, though. I've been pretty good on quarterbacks the last few years.
Yeah.
Not to toot my own horn, but I've been pretty good on quarterbacks.
Taylor Heineke, Sam Howell, Desmond Ritter.
I think they should have built around Sam Howell in Washington, honestly. There are so many more holes they need to fix on that team other than quarterback.
True, but I think Jaden Daniels has a much higher ceiling than Sam Howell does.
I agree.
And quarterback, most important position. It's going to be.
I agree, but you don't give him any help. It doesn't really matter how good they are.
He's going to get a lot of help after this year's. They're going to get Travis Hunter. That'd be interesting. Yeah.
Dots only, right?
Yeah. All right, Zach. One last question.
Uh-huh.
After Bonnet, do you think Bonnet should be the week one starter after?
After watching him play, I think probably not. I think after watching all of his play, I don't think he should be the week one starter. Because again,
I don't think there's anything to get out of starting Jarrett Stidham.
But the one thing I don't want to happen to these young guys is they get put into a situation they're not ready for. I think the three guys that are ready to start right now, based on what I saw, Jaden Daniels, I didn't get to see too much because he only played one drive. But out of the guys I saw, the only three that are ready and could play today and be relatively successful are Penix, Daniels, and Williams.
I don't think Penix is ready to start.
I think he is.
I would say Nix, Daniels, and Williams.
I don't think Nix is ready.
Nix is ready.
I think he would really struggle.
24, by the way.
He's old. He's ready. Everybody except for Beerly Zach pretty much praised his performance. And he had a lot of drops from his receivers, too.
He didn't have that many.
I just watched all the clips, Zach. That big.
I watched every play, Kerry. Every play he was a part of.
I just watched every throw he made. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I think the worst thing that could happen to a young quarterback is they get put into a situation they're not prepared for and they lose confidence.
Probably get blown up in a car crash or something would be the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah, outside of death.
I mean, they could.
Listen, I just want these guys to be successful. That's why I want them to sit. I want them to be successful. That's why I want them to sit.
What a sweet guy.
Hey, man.
Sweet guy.
Beerly Zach, he's the nicest guy I know.
All right, Trevor, what's your final segment for us?
I brought some fantasy sleepers to the table.
This can't be what you told me a couple weeks ago because that was terrible.
I know I'm going to get some hate for this, but
this is going to be terrible if anyone's listening.
Jesus was hated.
So was Hitler.
So was Hitler, you know. But the thing is, don't hate, no matter who it is. First of all, just because trust me, I'm not going to sit here all night talking about ADP. But this guy, I got to talk some ADP real fast, bro. Baker was QB 10 last year. He's like QB 21 so far in fantasy. So I think he's a steal if you can get him at the right round.
Where would you suggest you draft Baker?
Like 100 and I think.
Like what round?
Right now, his ADP. It doesn't say his ADP. Oh yeah, it does. His ADP is 149, which is probably like 12. It's probably like the 12th round or something, 13th round.
Mm-hmm.
Second to last round. I would take Baker in like the 11th round if he was there. He was quarterback 10 last year. I would take him 20 spots.
I would take him. Instead of in the 12th round, I'd take him in the 11th. See if you can get Baker in the 11th instead of the 12th.
I feel like it's just because everybody wants a running quarterback, and now there's just more and more running quarterbacks. Like, Kyler's healthy, so he'll go higher. Caleb Williams, Daniels, guys that could dual threats.
Yeah, but how about guys that just played a full year healthy, like Baker Mayfield?
He's a good backup.
That Baker Mayfield. He put that flag inside the O.
All right. Well, y'all are not going to like this one, so I'll get right into it. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to bounce around. I'm not going to go all my quarterbacks at once.
Sure.
You're not going to blow your load too early?
No, you guys aren't going to like this one either. I'm not really sure that I like this one. I just think the opportunity. Think of a few things. One being opportunity.
Okay.
2, play style.
Sure.
Okay.
3,
you can't even
explosiveness.
What?
The only thing I don't want you to think of is
if you say Derrick Henry, you can't.
ACL surgery. It's J.K. Dobbins from the LA Chargers. I'm not super sold on this one. I just think it's a fun one.
Don't take J.K. Dobbins.
I don't think Gus Edwards is going to do anything special. He was special in the Ravens offense because he had 13 touchdowns, which accounted for 29 yards combined, by the way, those 13 rushes. So I'm not expecting anything big and crazy from Gus Edwards in LA. Edwards. They're going to be a running team. We all presume that they're going to be a running team.
Gus Edwards is listed as RB1 on their depth chart.
Dobbins is?
Gus Edwards.
Gus Edwards is.
Listen, Gus Edwards is going to be nothing.
Well, they're going to be throwing a lot.
I did not know they had DJ.
You are not ready for J.K. Dobbins?
When did they get DJ Chark? That's my real question.
Hey, listen, they got to put some wide receiver on the field. I mean, he's got to have better hands than
Will Dissly and Hayden Hurst. That is a tight end duo.
Next, opportunity.
Shut up with this
security.
Opportunity. I feel like you're selling me a timeshare.
Trust. All right. I'm one of the Forex guys.
Think about this.
How bad you want
it?
How bad you want to be a millionaire? Anyways, I get Josh Palmer.
I feel like I'm part of a pyramid.
Josh Palmer's horn every day for the rest of my life. He's a fantasy sleeper. Like I said, probably should have came a little more ready with this ADP and shit, but I didn't want to bore you guys to sleep. Another receiver, Zach, Kerry, kind of interested to how you both feel about this as a sleeper. I'm not saying he's going to light the league on fire, but would it be crazy if this guy gets 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns in Atlanta, and his name is Darnell Mooney?
That's crazy.
Why do you hype him up every year?
Okay, first off, Kerry, you were the first person I knew to hype him up. You were the first person I knew to hype him up was you, Kerry.
Kirk Cousins.
Trevor, so you think he's going to go from 1 touchdown to 9?
Look, I'm not talking stats. I'm talking football, son. It's Kirk Cousins.
You just talked about
okay, think circumstances, right?
Opportunity.
All right? It's Kirk Cousins. He spreads the ball around. Come on.
Is he like even there?
Always fed his art or his wide receiver.
What is he? Their wide receiver 3?
They have a horrible wide receiver group after London and Mooney. Ray McLeod, Kadero Hodge, Casey Washington, James Washington, a lot of Washington, Jakeem Grant Sr., Charlie Werner.
Wow, their wide receiver group's not very good. It's almost like they got a really good running back and they're going to run the ball a lot.
Yeah, but apparently running backs don't matter anymore, Kerry.
They don't. You could put a faceless man out and then he'd do his job at running back.
All right. I think you guys are actually going to like this one, including you, Kerry. 2 words. Michael Wilson. Arizona Cardinals wide receiver 2. There's some opportunity there. Everybody's got their eyes on Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison.
Still on Michael Wilson.
These are just old random guys.
Why?
They have so many wide receivers there, Trevor.
But if that offense breaks out, Michael Wilson's going to, or not, they don't even have to break out.
They have Marvin Harrison and McBride who are going to get everything. James Conner's going to run carries. Kyler's going to run.
Rookie is going to have 1,500 yards.
Then they have like 40,000 other wide receivers like Zay Jones, Greg Dortch, Zach Pascal, Chris Moore, Xavier Weaver.
Zach Pascal, are you fucking kidding me?
Michael Wilson? Dude, where did you get these? Did you just look up random guys in the internet?
These are players. I had Treylon Burks on this list, but I took him off.
Oh my goodness. If you put Treylon Burks on a sleeper list, you should be shot.
All right, what do we think?
Never talk fantasy football again. You already got
Wait,
no,
actually, this is an interesting social experiment where we figure out, like, okay, what is the guy that finishes last in every fantasy league? What does he think a sleeper pick?
Has Trevor ever even made a fantasy playoffs?
I made the playoffs last year, first of all.
Did you?
And I have a good team, but I just don't care after I draft.
No, because you're
I always draft an amazing team.
You draft such a good team that you never win.
It's just that's the most fun part for me. It's like I'm trying to make a.
At least Zach can guarantee playoffs every single year. Zach can guarantee playoffs. I guarantee
playoffs every year, baby.
I guarantee.
Doesn't matter what team I draft, I guarantee playoffs.
This man is suggesting
you're going to have fun.
Listen, I'm a good fantasy coach. That's what I do.
Horrible sleepers.
I coach up my guys.
How about this one? Zach, Gabe Davis.
I actually like that one.
There we go.
I actually do like that.
Everyone's got to throw to somebody.
I actually like Gabe Davis this year as a sleeper. I don't know what his ADP is, though.
He's all just like busts.
Top 15 fantasy wide receiver, Zay Flowers. Jake Ferguson. You guys like that one?
How is that a sleeper? He was like
he's going to be a top 6 tight end.
He was like top 8. So he goes from 8 to 6?
Okay, maybe you should make a list and bring it next week with some real sleepers then. And I'll make a power ranking list that's better than your power ranking list. Zach, you just have to talk about rookie quarterbacks every week for the rest of the year.
Dude, I love it, dude. It's so much fun. It's my like that. Never mind. I'm not going to finish that sentence. I'm going to stop.
Hey, I'll give one sleeper tonight. Jameson Williams. Buy low. Jamar Gibbs.
He's getting gassed up on Twitter. How's he a sleeper?
Jahmyr Gibbs out for the season. Jameson Williams, third option this offense. Finally get a breakout season.
If you want a quarterback that you can play all year, but you don't want to draft him, you want to draft him in like round 13 or 14 or one of the last 2 rounds, whatever that is. Y'all are going to be mad? Take Russell Wilson, bro.
No. Do anything but that.
You will be able to start Russ every week in fantasy. And
no, you
17, 18.
You want to bet on that?
Draft him, and play him every week.
Yeah, every week.
No. Fuck no. I'm taking Kyler and Caleb Williams, one of them 2.
Goodness, you're horrible takes. Like Jaden Daniels.
Either Zach Moss or Chase Brown could be fun. Oh, I love A.J. Dillon.
What?
What? No.
This is the worst list I've ever seen.
I I put AJ Dillon on this list just because I love him.
Because he's the most mediocre RB2.
No,
Hollywood
he's
Brown.
like, is he still the RB2? I was hearing
Yeah,
Packers
he's
fans
fire.
saying that the Packers fans saying that their RB3 should be their RB2 and AJ Dillon should get cut from the team.
Yeah, that's because they hate. It's just
His
that's
nickname
why. Okay, y'all are sleeping on him. Thank you. You're sleeping on all my picks. Thank you.
Did he
Yeah.
average a half a
You
yard
guys
a
don't
carry
getting my
last
picks, that
year?
means they're all sleepers.
He
So-
averaged 3.4 yards a carry last year. 3.4.
But I'm not talking about last year. I'm talking about this year.
He's going to average what, 3.2?
4.
4 is below league average.
He's a power back, bro. He's a goal line back.
I'll give you a
Suck it.
sleeper. I'll give you a sleeper running back in a deep league. Sleeper running back, Tank Bixby. He impressed me in the preseason game.
If you're a football player and your name is Tank, there's an 82% chance you're pretty good. That's
What
math.
If you had to draft a Cowboys running back, who'd you get? Royce Freeman, Rico, Dallas?
Royce Freeman, bro. You know anything's possible in Dallas.
You think Zeke is a sleeper, Trevor, in 2024?
Yeah, asleep with a honey bun wrapper in his hand. No way. On the couch.
Dude. Okay, so actually I don't remember if I said anything on it, but do y'all see the video of him running through the thing and then like he's like, oh god.
Oh, I think somebody said he got hit in the nuts.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Oh.
You can see it, the last one like hits him square in his nuts.
Sometimes
And that's why he was like this. He's like,
That's life.
that's the Cowboys offseason. A smack in the nuts.
Sometimes Zeke's just got to eat, you know?
He's got to eat all the time.
He does.
I got Hollywood Brown, DeAndre Swift, and that rounds out my list.
What? Trevor,
What? Okay, you're
random-
sleeping on him. Thank you.
You're the most random people of all time
Okay, keep sleeping.
because they're terrible.
Keep sleeping.
We need to come back to this list at the end of next season because, my
We will.
goodness.
We will.
Yeah, we will. I don't even think any of those will be in like the top 30 of their position.
Okay, man. You're trolling, obviously.
I don't think I am.
I think
You don't
Gabe
think
Davis
Gus
is
is gonna be? You don't think
30.
Baker or Russ?
Matt, do you think Gus
Or
Edwards would be
Tyler.
will Gus Edwards be a top 30 fantasy running back? I don't think
First off,
so.
he didn't say Gus Edwards.
Yeah,
He said
fuck
J.K.
you.
Dobbins.
All right, do you think J.K. Dobbins will be a top 30?
I said
He's
I
gonna
didn't believe in
He's
that
gonna
one.
start off so hot though. He's gonna look like the next best thing, and then he's gonna get injured in week 3
Let's
and not
see.
play for another 2 years.
Will Russ
But
be,
wouldn't you rather start your season 3-0?
will Russ be a top 25 quarterback?
Ooh,
I don't think so.
I
He's better
don't.
than Justin Fields.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he is.
Who else
Did
do you
you-
think, Trevor?
Did you watch the game?
No.
Oh, I don't think
You're a
Russ
stat
play?
sheet watcher. So you're
Yeah.
a stat sheet watcher.
Will Michael Wilson be a top 50 fantasy wide receiver?
He might be top 50.
Might
Borderline.
be.
Borderline
Y'all
top 50.
Y'all are sleeping. Y'all. Yeah, I hope the listeners make the connection here that we literally got people sleeping on him as we speak. So that's how you know you can trust my list.
That was a terrible list, dude.
Sleeping. We should just. They're snoring.
If you have the last pick in your draft, take any one of those guys.
I wouldn't even do that. You could find all of them on the free agency.
Do it.
Oh my god.
That's all I got, man.
All
Thank
right.
you. And if you want to lose your fantasy league, please follow his advice.
No, you'll have fun. I promise.
Yeah,
You know
if you're
what?
playing
He
in
didn't-
fantasy against me, please follow at Billy Trev Scott. Take all
He
his
didn't-
fantasy advice.
He didn't say you would win. He just said you would have fun.
I guarantee that I'll have a better record in fantasy than both of y'all by week 5. Guarantee it.
Why week 5? Because your team's going to fall apart.
I can't care that long, but I can care for 5 weeks if we have a bet.
What's the bet?
You have to trade your best player in your fantasy team.
Fuck no. You, I don't know, just have to have a cup of water. Just hydrate.
Wow, that's a good one.
Boy, you can tell he's really confident in this one.
Trevor, maybe you're thinking going crazy. 2 cups of water? Maybe 3?
Yeah, chill out.
All right.
Trevor just realized he made bets with perennial contenders and he doesn't want to do it anymore. Arguably consistently one of the worst GMs in our league.
That's not true. I make the playoffs.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You never do.
Yes,
Your
I
dad
do.
is good. Your dad is good at fantasy football, not you.
Who do you think? Who do you think
What?
is me?
No.
He knows too much ball.
Yeah.
You don't.
Mr. Scott's an old head.
Yeah, especially when it comes to basketball, dude.
He's like, why aren't they're shooting threes? Why aren't they throwing sky hooks from the free throw line?
Yeah. He's got a nice little sky hook on him, man.
What's going to do when Cooper Flag goes number 1 next year?
Oh, he's gonna love it.
Alrighty. So, we doing rapid fire tonight, Kerry?
I'm too tired to do rapid fire.
You're too tired to do rapid fire? Okay. Well, that's okay. Alrighty. Thank you, everyone, for watching, listening, and subscribing, because I know you already have. Whether it's to our YouTube channel or the podcast, we greatly appreciate it. Make sure you leave a 5-star review. If you don't like the show, I'll tell you what you can do. Instead of leaving a 1-star review, berate one of us on Twitter.
You can go to Trevor's apartment and go visit him.
Well,
I will give you his address live on the podcast if you want to.
No.
but the real way we know you hate our show is if you go to beerlysports.creatorspring.com and pick up one of these shirts. That's the real way we know you hate us. Please, if you hate us, buy one of the shirts and we'll stop making the podcast, I guess. I don't know. That's the best way to know that people hate us is when you buy our merch.
It's true.
And if you love us, instead of buying the shirt, buy a hoodie. That'll be the vote, okay? This is the vote to end all votes. You buy a hoodie, we stay. You buy a shirt, we go. Alrighty. Thank you, everyone, for watching or listening, and we will see you next time.
Technically, we won't see you. We'll hear you next time.
Oh, Kerry, shut up.
Bro, just wait.
Oh shit.
We're still live.
That's not good.
You did it, remember?
Oh shit, it's on my laptop.
Still going.
I